Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great lunch. And what a way to spend your time after lunch than join and hear about mobile. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. Your favorite slide, for those of you who attended all the sessions, forward-looking. Of course, we want to show some really good innovation, some of which is forward-looking. So please make your purchasing decision what's available. And I promise you, a lot of what you're going to see is available today as well. So exciting things to kind of show you not just what's available today, but also what's coming. Again, if you look around, there's so many theaters, so many breakout sessions. We're really grateful that you choose to spending your next 20 minutes with us. And also, hopefully, you're all well rested post the concert yesterday. So we really appreciate you spending our time with each other, and hopefully you learned something about mobile, because we've been hard at work investing a lot on mobile over the last few years, and also in the next frontier as well. Just one more thing, if you haven't heard this already, there is still a chance, once you fill out the surveys, for a coffee on us. The feedback is a gift. We all take your feedback very seriously. We want to make sure that we address some of the things that you've seen and improve as always. So scan this. We'll show this towards the end as well. So let's get started. My name is Irfan Syed. I'm the product manager on the Salesforce mobile app. And my colleague here, David Hasty, we're going to go through what we've been cooking up on the mobile offline side of things, specifically on our mobile experiences for Mobile Builder. We've been on this journey for a couple of years now, so we're excited to show you where we are and where we're heading. So this is basically the 4-chapter journey we're going to be in. We're going to talk about how mobile's evolving, specifically in the enterprise. I'm also going to be giving you an overview on mobile app and App Plus, and how we've basically shaped that product over the last few years, along with where we are today. Then David's going to join in and give us an overview of mobile offline with Mobile Builder. And of course, no talk is complete without a live demo, and David's going to take us through a journey of how Mobile Builder works as well. So with that, how many of us have a mobile phone with us? I'd be surprised if there's a hand that doesn't get raised. Probably all of us, right? But believe it or not, in the enterprise world, it's still a very desktop, browser-first world. But as and when we're getting more and more higher quality of mobile devices, they're getting more and more critical to get work done. You may be an account executive who's traveling between cities. You want some quick access to your data so that you can complete it. You might actually be a retail manager. You want to go into a retail partner, and maybe you want to create a promotion. You may not have access to Wi-Fi, so to say, to kind of actually pick out your laptop and do this. You might actually be a medical sales device representative. You may be going into hospitals who are, by design, not allowed to have network connectivity. These similar scenarios apply across industries with Salesforce, whether it's HLS, field service, sales, service, and any industry you can think of. Even though we're heading towards 5G and 6G, you drive 10 miles out of the city, you probably have no G. And that's basically the crux of the problem. As and when we start getting used to mobile for enterprises, this is becoming more and more of a common use case. And there we have some interesting stats here. Poor data access as you use mobile is actually a very, very expensive problem today. It slows down productivity. About half the users who actually use mobile devices complain that this is a huge loss in their productivity when they're trying to capture notes, and they are greeted with an exception saying, hey, you're offline, you won't be able to do this. And how many of you here are IT leaders? I have a few hands up here, and you can verify this. About 1/3 of your cases on mobile devices are due to offline connectivity and lack of network connectivity and not behaving this. Our friends at VDC Research actually quantified this in a dollar value. It's $347 billion is the loss in productivity due to network connectivity. So this is a big problem, and this is why we spent the last few years solving this problem, and we're on our way to kind of making this experience even further. So before we go into offline, one thing I do want to kind of set the context with is the vehicle of delivery, which is the Salesforce mobile app. So today, when you search for Salesforce in the iOS and Android or the Google App Store or Play Store, you see the Salesforce mobile app as the flagship app. Now, you may or may not have been using this for quite a few years, and depending on when you used it, your experience might be different. If you use it today, we've actually optimized the Salesforce mobile app. Some of you may have been in the Copilot and generative AI sessions as well. We've optimized those experiences as well. We continue to optimize them to be available not just on phone, but also tablets as well. This is the main app, vehicle of delivery across all the clouds of Salesforce. So when you are getting started with Salesforce, you're new to Salesforce, make sure to download the Salesforce mobile app because that's going to be a companion when you use this. And for this particular demo, we are actually going to be talking about everything that's going to be accessible through the mobile app. So if you don't have this app, I recommend you download this. So why did we choose Salesforce mobile app as a vehicle of delivery for offline? It's because you may not be aware of these features. Firstly, we are optimized for tablets. So not only are you covered from a mobile device perspective, or somebody who likes to use their tablets, we've optimized for that. Google and Apple release a version of iOS and Android every year. We make sure that our software is updated, the security patches applied. And the one key thing about mobile that's different is we basically release every 2 weeks. So if you're with Salesforce, you're probably used to 3 major releases every year. On the mobile side, we release it every 2 weeks. So as and when we support all these different clouds, this is something that we try and ensure we address and fix. For those of you using Lightning platform, Lightning App Builder is optimized for mobile as well as tablets, both in portrait and landscape. So at a design time, you can actually optimize your specific kind of Salesforce page layouts. And lastly, we are mobile first. So mobile first being widgets, notification, Siri and Google Assistant. Some of these unique mobile experiences is something we also constantly improve. And with generative AI coming to the forefront, this is an area where, again, I have to actively invest in. This is why we have Salesforce mobile app as our vehicle of delivery. But we're here to talk about Salesforce mobile app plus. Now, if you're wondering if this is a new app, it's not. It's built on top of the Salesforce mobile app. As you can see in this slide, Salesforce mobile app is the foundation on which we've built all these particular features. On top of the Salesforce mobile app, we have enhanced mobile security for those of you in the financial services industry. This is an additional security-oriented product. I'm going to be talking about that at 3:30 in breakout room 1. If you're interested, we can deep dive into that. Mobile offline access, why we're here today. This is another thing that gets built on top of this. And for those of you who like to distribute the Salesforce mobile app with your branding, maybe you don't like the blue of Salesforce, you want it green or red, whatever branding you have. This is another thing that you can avail with this particular feature set. You can brand the app and publish it on the App Store and the Play Store with your name. So that's what Salesforce Mobile App Plus is. Now, I'm going to double click on the mobile offline access specifically. We started this journey last year. We went generally available summer of last year. And we started with 3 core pillars of how mobile offline works. Starting with, if you want offline and you think you want to get everything that you have on desktop offline, that's the wrong way to think about it. You want to be very jobs to be done specific. You'll hear the word jobs to be done come more and more frequently as we talk about this, because you want to be tailoring your experience for anybody using the app to do those 5 things 100 times a day. So you do that through the Briefcase builder with the first pillar here, configuring offline data policies. Second is you want to make sure the LWC experience when you're editing the records is consistent. We do it through statically analyzable LWCs, that's the developers. And David's going to walk through each of these step by step. And lastly, once you use it, you want the data to be synced automatically. That's another thing that we focused on when we built this product. We've since evolved this. This is what you're going to see today. We've added another pillar to this for the admins. Again, focused on the jobs to be done. You may have very specific use cases for certain profiles in your company. You want to make sure their homepage has access to that with 1 click. Again, focusing not on 100 things doing once a day, but the 5 things you being able to do it 500 times a day. So that repeated actions, you have 1-click access to this. So we have more details about this. I'm going to hand it off to David to kind of talk about how offline works and how Builder will work together.
All right. Thanks, Irfan. And hello, everyone. I'm David. I'm also a product manager in the Salesforce mobile team. So let's talk mobile offline. The first thing I want to describe is the Briefcase Builder, which is a tool that allows admins to act as kind of a choreographer for all their mobile offline data. They can set policies about what information they want their mobile users to have when they're offline, and thus no longer able to directly access the Salesforce service. Configuration rules allow the admin to specify object records that will get preloaded into the Salesforce mobile app prior to going offline, so that information is there and available for the users later when they do go offline. And this is true for both standard and custom objects. Different data sets can be assigned to different groups of users. So every group or role will get an optimized and relevant set of information that's required for them to do their jobs. And these rules are evaluated at runtime and in the context of the logged in user. So every individual truly does get a unique set of optimized records, basically specific to their role. And finally, admins can take advantage of advanced filtering rules that allow them to further refine the data set that's made available to users offline. So they can, for example, say only load the account records for accounts that have had activity in the last 2 weeks, or for who the logged in user is scheduled to go visit in the next upcoming week. And these advanced filtering rules allow for the data sets to be smaller in size, and thus downloading and sync times are faster. Mobile Builder is another builder tool that complements Briefcase Builder. And Mobile Builder allows admins to customize the layout of that offline landing page, or the home screen that Irfan talked about, which is essentially the launch point for mobile users and all their offline activities and experiences. The Mobile Builder has a very familiar look and feel. We've adopted all the standard conventions from other Salesforce builders like Lightning App Builder and Flow Builder. And it allows the admins to make the most commonly used actions and information most prominent on that home screen. I'll do a demo of that in just a minute, so we'll get into more details of that here in just a second. But just know that with the Spring 24 release that was recently rolled out to all orgs in February, Mobile Builder is now in beta and available at no additional cost to those customers that have the Salesforce Mobile App Plus license. We've also created a starter kit to help you get going building offline LWCs. Lightning Web Components can be created by developers to work offline and perform very task-specific actions for the mobile users. So for example, I could create an action to update the status of a work order, or take notes for later review. Maybe an action to allow barcode scanning for equipment checks and inventory control. These Lightning Web Component actions can then be made available prominently on that home screen, so very convenient for the mobile users to navigate to and invoke. We also have reference code as part of the starter kit that allows you to get going, and instructions on how to deploy those quick actions to your org. And finally here, I talked about how mobile offline allows for the preloading of data for the user when they go offline to view and access. In addition to viewing and accessing data while offline, users can also create, edit, and modify records while offline. And when a user creates a new record or modifies an existing record when they're offline, all those changes get stored locally on device in a draft as part of what we call the pending queue, and then is automatically synced back to the Salesforce server when that user reestablishes connectivity. And we even have a mechanism to handle conflict resolution if multiple users update the same record. Okay, so with that, what I'm going to do is give a quick demo here of the Mobile Builder. So here I've got the familiar setup screen. And I am going to search for Builder. And we see here there's an entry for the beta version of the Builder for Mobile App Plus. I'm going to go ahead and click into that. In the interest of time here, because it's a short session, I've already created a couple of configurations. But you can see over here, admins can create new configurations. I've assigned these configurations to some profiles. Let me drill into this first configuration. And like I said, very familiar builder pattern will show up here. On the left-hand side, we've got the component palette. In the middle, we have the canvas. And on the right, we have the panel for configuration. In the component panel, we have the different types of cards that you can create and make available for your offline users. We have action cards, so as an admin, you can specify which LWC actions you want most prominent on that homepage, and which records you want listed. All the records that have been created as part of the Briefcase data set for this user are available to this user on their mobile device, but this home screen just gives them access to the things that they most commonly will need. So here I've created 3 actions for this user profile. If I want, I can go in and add a new action, say to take notes. New note. Right, so a new action pops up. If I want that to be second in the list, I can just drag it up there. Whoop. I'm going to go ahead and open that. I didn't save it when I added it. There, now I've saved it. It's a new note. These items on the home screen can be dragged. So if I want, I can move them around. Whoop. Here we go. The next in the list is generic list card. So you can specify any record type to show up in the home screen and sorted. So these are the records, again, that are part of the data set that was constructed as part of the Briefcase. I can change the number of items that are displayed here very easily. I can also change what's shown here. Originally, I had segment shown, but instead of segment, if I want phone, whoop, I could put account phone there, and as my second subfield, if I want email, I can put that there. And when I have things like this, I can also create swipe actions. So taking advantage of some of the native mobile capabilities, right? If I want the mobile user to easily be able to just swipe and make a phone call, I can add that as a swipe action. I can do that for email as well. Timed list cards are very much like generic list cards, but they have they're basically designed for things like schedules or visits that have a time component to them. In the interest of time, I'm not going to show that here, but if you swing by our booth, we can give you a more in-depth demo of that. I can go ahead and save this configuration. And then if I want, I can go ahead and assign it to different profiles. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Irfan to take us home here.
Yeah, thanks, David. As you can see, a lot of mobile-first actions, swipe actions uniquely mobile, calling, email, texting, right in your home screen, very uniquely mobile. We have a lot of other things in our booth, and on scanning this, you'll get a trail mix of everything mobile. I already mentioned 3:30 today. We're going to deep dive into security. That's the other tenet of the Salesforce mobile app Plus, and we're going to do this all over again in the Oak Theater at 4:30. For those of you who may have come late, want to catch the entire thing, we're going to do this again at 4:30. Again, just a quick reminder, please leave us feedback. Feedback is a gift. We'd appreciate it. And you have a chance to get a coffee on us. With that, we're going to be available at the side of the stage for any questions you may have. Happy to answer them. But otherwise, really appreciate you spending your time with us right after lunch. Hopefully, this was an informative session. Any further questions, please reach out to me. We'll do this again at 4:30.
All right.
As well.
Thank you.